Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jenny, and today we are starting my, can't pick up the book, my Hero of Ages reading vlog. This is book number 3 in the Mistborn era for my Brandon Sanderson-Along. So, before we get into it, in this vlog, will be reading Hero of Ages. This is going to be a spoiler-filled video. So if you are not up to date or have read Hero of Ages, you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch this vlog. So Hero of Ages, book 3 in Mistborn era 1. So where we are starting is about 12 months after the end of Well of Ascension. So at the end of Well of Ascension, again, all of the spoilers here. At the end of Well of Ascension, Vin accidentally released the big bad. Elend almost died and then got kind of brought back to life, and he is now an Allomancer. There was a big fight in the city of Luthadel, and 2 of the gang, Docs and Clubs, died. So we have got, luckily my favourites, Ham survived, Breeze had a nervous breakdown, and Sazed survived as well. However, the woman that Sazed was in love with passed away, which meant that he is also a sad boy right now. Elend became emperor of the country, and he and his wife Vin are now emperors, I suppose. So we are starting here. We've got the big bad that obviously they need to fight. Elend and Vin are a very powerful Mistborn couple, and like I said, they are basically ruling the world. They are the new emperor. As you can see, I have tabbed up to read 50 pages a day over the next 2 weeks. I started this actually 3 days ago. I should be about 100, or at least, well, should be 150 pages, or at least 100 pages in. I'm not, I'm 52 pages in. I just haven't been reading over the last couple of days. Today is the 25th of March. This is a bizarre thing to say, but I would love to get this read by the end of the month. I just don't think that's realistic, but we will see. So yeah, I'll update you when I've read a bit more. Hello, time for my first update from Hero of Ages. I'm up to the end of part 1, so that's about page 120. As usual with these books, they are starting slowly. It has taken me, it's Wednesday evening now, it's like 10:30, I'm about to go to bed. I started this book on Sunday, so it's taken me 4 days to read 120 pages. I'm supposed to be reading 50 pages a day. I did find this before, so with the Final Empire, it probably took until the halfway point before things picked up. Well of Ascension, it was probably the 3/4 way point before things picked up. So I am prepared that it's going to be a bit slower at the beginning and it will pick up towards the end. But yeah, I do sort of think, is it, if I read these actually back to back, would I feel like the pacing was a bit quicker? You know, if I kind of stayed in the world, but I haven't done that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have nothing actually to say. So yeah, Hero of Ages, it's about a year after the events at the end of Well of Ascension. So the world is like properly ending now. The mists are killing through the day. There's ash falling all the time. Nothing can grow. Yeah, it's very much an end of the world situation. Now, my assumption here, I'm not convinced that everybody is going to be safe, okay? I don't think that everybody, all of the characters are going to survive the book, but I think the world will. Because I know that obviously we've got Mistborn Era 2. So to get to Mistborn Era 2 means that there must be some survivors, let's say. But yeah, I don't think that everybody is going to survive the book. I think that of the crew, we're definitely going to lose a few more. At the moment, we've got Sazed, who's very depressed. He is trying to find like the one true religion, because I can't remember what her name is. I'm very tired. The woman that he loved died in Well of Ascension in the battle, and he's like, well, there must be something that's more than this. I've studied religions all my life, so what is the one religion that tells me, you know, what's happened to her after death? So he's sort of losing his faith like in religion rather than faith in a specific religion, and is trying to find yeah, which religion is true. And the rest of the crew are just sort of, I don't even know what they're doing, to be honest. They're just kind of wondering, really. What are they doing? There's some like caches of like food and secret stuff under certain cities, and they're trying to find all of these ones. They think they're gonna find like the ATM, which they're still looking for. Yeah, I'll be 100% honest with you. Right now, I'm tired and my brain isn't working, and because it's taken me 4 days to read these 120 pages, I don't really know what I've read. I don't have any thoughts right now because that's it. So I'm gonna go to bed, and I'm gonna talk to you when I've read some more. I don't think I'm going to do 100-page updates this time because it's a lot. I think I might just update you like at the end of each part, maybe. So I don't know when part 2 will be, but I'll update you then, or if something really interesting happens, whichever one comes first. Hello, I am at page 193 of Hero of Ages, and there's a couple things have happened, a couple things that I wanted to talk about. So first of all, Spook. Spook is adorable and I love him. He has been burning tin for like the last 12 months and has become something called a savant, meaning that basically his sort of baseline senses, I suppose, are incredibly high. So you know, he can hear people whispering through a wall, which is really cool. Anyway, he got stabbed and then he was put in a burning house, and he heard Kelsier telling him to escape, and he thought he saw Kelsier as well. So this makes me question, right, well, one, was that just a figment of his imagination, stressful situation? Two, is this the kind of case of Kelsier is becoming deified, Kelsier is a god? Three, was it like a ghost? I am kind of wondering more on like the numbers 2 and number 3, because the figment of imagination thing, this Kelsier led him directly to a chest with metals, and Spooks managed to burn pewter, and Kelsier said, I've given you the power of pewter so that you can escape this house. So there was definitely someone there. Interesting. Sorry, I don't know what the hand movement's about. Number 2, Vin is trying to find out about the ruin, the kind of like big evil, and she's worked out that there is always consequence to something. So everything that ruin does, you know, there will be an opposing power. They've also just worked out that exactly 16% of people fall to the like mist disease, which is interesting. I was wondering, is that linked to, are there 16 metals? But I've just counted in the back and there's 14. So maybe my theory doesn't hold up. But intriguing, 200 pages in, just about. Still quite a long way to go, but let's get on. It's about 11:15 now, so I'm going to go to bed. But yeah, I am intrigued with Hero of Ages. I'm not sure that I'm going to get any of it read this weekend. I can't remember if I've said earlier in this vlog or if it's been in other vlogs, but I am planning on selling my house. And this weekend, I'm doing like a deep, clean, tidy, prettify before photos next week. which means I'm not going to have really any time to kind of chill out and read this weekend. I also started reading Sunrise and the Reaping, and let's be totally honest, that's very difficult to put down. But I'm gonna go to bed, talk to you when at my next update. Hello, I am up to part 3 in Hero of Ages, which is exactly page 300. What's happened? We're moving around again. So Ellen and Vin are trying to take back Ket's city. They think that the last cache is there, and Sazed and Breeze have gone to another place. I've forgotten the names where Spook is, and they're also trying to take that over, I think. I'm finding Spook a really interesting character in this one. But yeah, and again, I know I said this, I think, in my last update, that I found like the first 75% of Well of Ascension very, very slow. So I'm now probably nearly halfway through. The book's, what, 700 pages? If I miss all of the glossary and stuff. 720 pages. So I'm 50 pages off the halfway point, pretty much. And it has been fairly slow paced for this first kind of half. I'm hoping that it will pick up a bit. Just mainly because at the moment, because it is feeling very slow paced, it's not that it's not intriguing me. That's not what I mean, not what I'm wanting to say. But I'm just feeling a little bit kind of like not much is happening. And it's a really strange reading experience, if I'm totally honest with you, because we've got, sorry, I've got Bracken resting her chin right on top of my phone there. Yeah, it's a really weird reading experience because I've really enjoyed these books. So I can't remember my ratings. I think both Final Empire and Well of Ascension were at least 4 stars, maybe more than that. But they're a bit of a slog to get into. You know, I feel like with both, it particularly surprised me with Well of Ascension. I found Final Empire was very easy to get into, but with Well of Ascension particularly, Final Empire ended on such a high in this really exciting place, and then nothing happened with the plot for like 500 pages. And I feel like in Hero of Ages there is some stuff happening. There is plot, there is plot movement, but it's just a bit kind of plodding. That sounds so mean. I know I'm sounding really, really negative. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying the characters. I enjoy the story. I am having a good time, but it is a slowish pace, I guess is what I'm going to say. I'm up to part 4, which is page 400. What the actual fuck? What the hell? So Vin has been trapped by Yomen, and he's managed to like kind of capture her in what she thought was going to be one of the storage caches, but she's then realised that there's another Mistborn in there with her. She goes to fight him. Who is it? Reen, her brother, the brother that disappeared like before we met her in the Final Empire, and has been, well, we thought had been killed by the Lord Ruler. What? And he was Mistborn all along. Shock. Okay. What the fuck do I think is going on? I don't think Ween has just been a Mistborn kind of like hiding and working with Yomin the whole time. I don't know what I think is going on. I'm going to get back to you when I've read a bit more, when I have some form of theory, but right now, just in shock. I have just finished The Hero of Ages, and everybody is right. The end. Jeez, can Brandon Sanderson stick an end in? Whew. Even up to, hey Bradley, yes, even up to the last page, I was still being surprised by what was happening. You know, I was still kind of going, wait, what? How? Anyway, wow. I don't know. I don't know what to think. Yeah, that was good. That, I don't know. It's one of those endings, and again, I obviously know that there is a Mistborn era too, but so I'm like, I can see all of these places where the story is going to go, but I can't see where it's going to go, and I just think it's going to be. I can't wait to carry on. I cannot wait to carry on the Cosmere series. I need to process my thoughts, and yeah, I will come back with my final thoughts and a rating, because right now I need to stare at a wall for a minute. But yeah, that book's good. It is the following day. I am back with my thoughts, feelings and emotions and ratings on Hero of Ages. First off, I had originally said 5 stars. I put it through Corpile and then fiddled with the numbers to make it to a 5-star. But I think what I've actually rated it on Storygraph is 4.75, because the ending was, you know, 6-star territory. But I do feel like I have got to acknowledge the fact that there were 300 pages that were just a bit too slow with not very much happening before I could get to that 6-star territory. So I'm settling with a 4.75. And I realised I never sent in the end part of the stuff that just literally like shocked me to my core. So Vin actually is killed quite early. I was surprised how quickly, like, for how long Vin is dead. And then Elend as well. Is it a Kolos or is it Ruin? Oh, no, actually it's not. It's Marsh. It's Marsh, the Inquisitor, who beheads Elend. So, and Vin at this point has sort of taken into herself the power of preservation, who is like kind of other god. So we've got the big bad god Ruin, and then the other god, which is preservation, and they sort of balance each other out. But preservation has been dying, and Vin sort of dies but takes on the powers of preservation, and she ends up being the one to fight and destroy or like contain Ruin. But it's Sazed that literally like floored me. He is the hero of ages, and then he's sort of become a godlike figure. But what I loved, what was so incredible, was the way that Sazed has kind of fixed the world because he knew all of the religions. So he knew about the religion that worshipped the stars. So he knew where to place the planet within the stars. He knew about the religion that worshipped like agriculture. So he knew what animals should look like. He knew about the religion that like did lots of like painting and drew flowers. So he knew what flowers looked like. And that, I was just like, iconic. Because throughout, I'll be honest, I was sort of thinking, particularly towards the kind of midpoint of Hero of Ages, I was like, okay, well, all of the Ruin preservation, Lord Ruler and Calcia being, you know, deities, and these kind of like all of these religious that Sazed collects, I thought this was just going to be a sort of Christianity allegory because Brandon Sanderson is a Mormon. So I thought this was a little bit of beautiful fantasy story, but also I'm going to be shoving my religion down your throat. Which, do you know what? Like, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not really a fan of, well, I don't like religion being shoved down my throat by anyone. But I was like, well, this is a great story, so I'll look past it. And actually, I'm really glad I did, because I don't think this is a Christianity allegory. I think it is more just a case of the religions were an Easter egg to suggest how Sazed is going to be the hero of ages, because then also you've got the hero of ages prophecy where it's like he's a traitor to his own kind but will end up leading them. Sazed is, you know, like a rebel terraceman but ends up being the leader of the terracemen, and he's like, I don't want this. And I can't remember what else was it. There was a lot, like everything in the prophecy which had been thought to point to Vin, or first of all thought to point to the Lord Ruler and then to Vin, actually it all makes sense with Sazed as well. So yeah, and I can't actually believe, I've only noticed this because I've just finished editing the vlog, the whole Kandra plotline I completely missed out of this whole vlog. The Kandras have been probably the most interesting characters. So Tensoon is fantastic. But it turns out that the Kandras were made by the Lord Ruler, and the first generation of Kandras were the original terracemen who the Lord Ruler was friends with when he originally got to the Well of Ascension. And they have like an inbuilt thing in them, which is when the day comes when the Lord Ruler is dead and Ruin is about to win, the Kandra all commit suicide. They all have to remove their blessings, which are the spikes. Anyone who has a spike, so the Inquisitors, the Kandras, and the Koloss, are all controlled by Ruin, which also, again, did not go back to this. But when Vin was seeing Reen, and also when Spook was seeing Calcia, both of those visions was the Lord Ruler. No, it wasn't, was Ruin, because they both had spikes and were being controlled by Ruin. Vin's earring was the spike that Ruin was using to control her, which again, so clever. Like, I just, incredible, outstanding, 10/10. Yeah, there were so many. I can see why people say that this book is incredible on a reread. I'm really, really glad that I tabbed throughout, because I do think this book is going to be so much more impactful on a reread. But I am just very excited to get on to my next book, which is going to be Elantris, which is supposed to be the April video, but let's be honest, this is going up middle of April, so I think we're going to be working like 1 month in arrears, which is fine. There is nobody holding me to this. So my next book is going to be Elantris, which will be coming at some point, probably early next month. And I'm excited. I know Elantris is different. I know it's obviously it's a different world. It's his first book. I know people say it's not his best, but I'm excited to read a standalone. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. So that is it for this vlog. Mistborn Era 1 wrapped up, done. I will say Mistborn Era 1, I don't know if they were all 5 stars. Actually, I don't think they were all 5 stars. Let me check notes here. Mistborn Era 1, none of the books has been 5 stars, but I feel like it is a 5-star series. That makes sense in my head, okay? Final Empire was 4.5 stars, Well of Ascension was 3.5, and now Hero of Ages was 4.75. I do think that all 3 books have struggled with just being very slow to start with, but then the end is incredible. But I feel like I do need to acknowledge in my ratings that the start is slow, and it can be a little bit of a slog. Well of Ascension particularly was a slog to get into. So Mistborn Era 1 done. let's move on to the next part of the Cosmere. If you like this video, please leave me a like, subscribe down below if you wanted to see the next video. If you just want to leave me an emoji to let me know you were here, leave me any form of heroic emoji. I don't know what that's going to look like. That is up to you. But let me know if you have read this series and what your thoughts are, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.